Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for you all in regards to the chosen seed. A question that I get quite often is, how do I know that I'm chosen? And it's kind of hard to give a person a straightforward answer in terms of how you know that you're chosen. Me personally, finding out that I was chosen it was more so my connection to the Most High and just gaining that understanding of who I am. After doing a lot of work of healing and just going within, I came to realize, yes, I am chosen. And it's important to know what it means to be chosen. It means obviously that you were selected specifically for a special assignment by the Most High God, Mother and Father, and that also you are a child of the Most High God, Mother and Father. But it goes deeper than that. But I do want to start off by just kind of giving you all some clarity in regards to how you can know if you're chosen. Okay, more than likely, if you're asking this question, then there's a good chance that you are, but you're still kind of straddling the fence in terms of what that means for you, and whether or not it's true. And so I want to bring you some clarity. So first, I'm going to ask a series of questions. I will be using my cards just again to pick up on the energy and to see signs and symbols that would indicate that you yourself are a chosen seed. So if you find that this resonates with you, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want a private reading from me, you can always book a private reading through my email. I'll leave that in the description box below. So let's get started. First, I want to look into your characteristics as a child. In your childhood, what characteristics did you display that would indicate that you are a chosen seed? So if you resonate with this, let's just see, okay? So what characteristics did you display in your childhood? Okay. So first card coming out is the Empress, okay? This card deals with patience. It's called patience, but I see this as more of the card that's kind of attracted to or connected to the Empress energy because of the fertility, the growth. And so I feel like you've always been very nurturing, someone who was very patient. I see this as being someone who is also very kind. I also see this card, because this woman is pregnant, I see this as being someone who is very creative, male or female, very creative in your energy. You might have always had a connection to nature. You might have always felt more at peace when you were connected to nature outside, and I also feel that from birth, or even during your conception when you was in your mother's womb, it was something that a certain amount of peace that you might have brought to your mother during her pregnancy, okay? But for many of you, your mothers already knew when you was actually being formed in her womb that you was going to be chosen. She might not have told you this, especially if you end up coming through a karmic mother. But I do see you as being a nurturer, somebody that was very kind, very patient. And with the number 7 coming out on this card, I also see you as being someone who was very spiritual. Maybe you had spiritual experiences. You might not have been able to explain them or understand them, but I do see you as being someone who was already very connected. And I'm being drawn to the yellow here. I feel like you might have been very courageous as well as a child. Very courageous. And you just had a really open heart, okay? You had a really open heart as a child. But creativity stands out the most there. So let me see what else in terms of what did you display? What type of characteristics did you display in your childhood that would indicate that you are a chosen seed? So you have here abundance coming out. Now, this card, just looking at this card, this is a man sitting on a book. Many of you might have loved to read. I personally, I used to be taken to the library every weekend, and I would get dropped off there for hours. And I grew to have a love for just walking into libraries and just smelling this, the scent of books. You have to be a bookhead or somebody that goes to the library often to know that smell. It's a very distinct smell. But books, you might have really just enjoyed learning, okay? You might have enjoyed books. You might have enjoyed learning. And it also indicates that you might have been very smart and intelligent. I'm picking up on an old soul. You was an old soul from the time that you was little, okay? Um, and I also feel with this abundance, this represents abundance of wisdom. So even if you might not have seen it as being wisdom at that time, I feel like you was always someone who possessed an understanding of things. Whether you could verbalize it to others or not, you just understood. You had an understanding of people. So yeah, again, many of you might have enjoyed reading books as a child. Let's see what else is coming out. Okay, so you have turning in. Turning in. So what I'm attracted to in this card is you all see all of these faces here surrounding this card, and it looks like a lot of low vibrational spirits. Some people might call them demons, okay? Dark entities. Many of you might have experienced encounters with the spiritual realm. Whether it was the dark side of the spiritual realm or the light side of the spiritual realm, you might have had encounters where you might have seen things, okay? And looking at the person in this picture, they're not afraid of what they see, but they are very aware of what's around them. So you might have had a strong sense of awareness in terms of the spiritual realm, and that there were other beings or other things that existed outside of yourself. For some of you, you might have tried not to see these things. Some of you were kind of fearful of it, but you tried to close your eyes to it. You tried to suppress it and pretend it wasn't there. Maybe you got shut down in your childhood if you tried to express these things to your parents. But I do see that you always had, or you might have had, encounters with those in the spiritual realm, okay? So let's see. These energies may have come around to siphon your energy or to try to disrupt your peace or to incite fear of the spiritual realm, okay? To push you further into conditioning when it came to your belief systems, especially your spiritual belief systems. There's always a reason why things happen the way that they do, but I won't go too deep into that. But one day I will. I do plan on doing a message in regards to that, especially if you've experienced, if you was the type that experienced, like if you felt like you was being suffocated, or if you felt like you was being held down in your sleep by certain dark entities or spirits. That's something that I've also heard about from many people who discovered that they was chosen. If you felt like, especially in your dream state, that you would be attacked, but you couldn't holler, you couldn't scream out loud, you always felt like you was muted. That happened to me a lot in my dreams when I was younger. It was a reoccurring dream that I had, actually. So you all might be able to relate to that. I just wanted to put that out there. You also have projections here. I feel like you was always able to see the spiritual nature of people around you. You could see past people's poker face. Like you could pick up, you was very sensitive to people's intentions and their energy. This, having such a strong intuition and such a strong perception as a child could cause, the adults in your life to be intimidated by your wisdom. Many of them might have recognized that you was an old soul and shut you down or shut your voice down so that you would not speak, because it was intimidating that you would know so much at such a young age. But I feel like you was always able to see through people, see through to their spirit, past the representative. Let me take one more here. You also have moment to moment. So I feel like in your childhood, you was very much so a free spirit, okay? Very much so a free spirit. I feel like you was very creative in your mind. Like if you can get into your own space in that moment, you was able to create the right type of energy. You was able to create whatever it is you saw in your mind. You became fully submerged in that. And it was like you was just in your own zone. very different from others. I would say that for sure. Very different from others. And I'm also picking up from looking at this card, you may have been a loner, someone who was more introverted, who liked to spend more time alone. Largely because you was different and you were an old soul, which would indicate that as a child, you probably didn't relate to a lot of other children that were your age. So let's see, the next question that I'm looking into is your personality traits as a child. Well, not necessarily as a child, but just in general, okay? Personality. Your personality. So let's see, what does that mean for you in terms of your personality traits that would indicate that you yourself are a chosen seed? Okay, so the first card coming out is the King of Wands. Whether you're a male or female, this shows me that you are a go-getter. Okay, you are the type of person that takes action. When there's something that you desire to do, you persevere. You don't give up on those things that you desire to move towards. Okay, you have a very fiery personality. It can indicate that you are very passionate. And I'm also seeing a lot of courage here with the lion behind this man. I'm seeing someone who's always been very courageous, very strong. And you definitely stood out from the rest. I feel like when you stepped into a room, people recognized you. They knew who you were, okay? Even being an introverted person, maybe that's one of the things that you was uncomfortable with, is the fact that you stood out wherever you went. And I'm also picking up you're very attractive, okay? You've always been very attractive, and so people were always drawn to your energy. But you've always been the type of person that was more comfortable with doing your own thing, in spite of many people being drawn to you and wanting to know more about you. But you have always been the type of person where you're the take charge, take action type of person, okay? So your personality is that you're a go-getter. Whatever it is that you desire, you move towards it. And you're very courageous in your energy. Let's see what else. You have the Five of Cups. I feel like, you know, even though you're very strong, and this is a strong suit of yours, okay? Your strength is a strong suit. It's not, you know, it's a strong suit, but I'm also seeing that you've been through a lot, okay? And so there is a lot of pain that you've had to overcome. You may even be facing challenges right now. But I feel like in spite of the challenges, your personality is, I still have to persevere. I still have to follow my dreams and pursue those things that I desire, pursue my passions. And so you're not the type of person to allow past pain to keep you there, to keep you stuck in that energy. But I do see that you do have a lot of experiences and memories that, you know, some of them you had to suppress and bury in order to be able to be as strong as you are today. I feel like these situations, they built you. They did build you up to become as strong as the lion. You know, that's the king of the jungle. And so you had to go through a lot. You had to see a lot in order to become that courageous and that powerful. But I feel like for the most part, when it comes to pain, you handle it pretty well. Yeah, you come out as the emperor. So again, male or female, I do see that you are a boss, okay? You're a go-getter. You are a no-nonsense type of personality. You know how to play chess. This ain't no checkers for you. Life is chess for you. So you're very strategic in the way that you do things. You're able to analyze things from a very logical and an intellectual perspective. This person has an Ankh. Look at this. They have an Ankh on their arm, an Ankh tattoo. So some of you might have that tattoo somewhere, okay? Or you might be wearing it as jewelry. You know, I have my Ankh here. I feel like you, and even if you don't have it, I feel like it just represents life, okay? You have an understanding of the masculine and feminine energy. You embody both the masculine and feminine energy, and you carry it well. Like, you're very balanced in your energy. Your personality is. You're very poised, well put together. I feel like you're the type of person that you sit on your throne. You sit in your power. You know the power that you possess, okay? And so you create foundations. You build empires. You are a chosen seed because you are part of building the empire, building the kingdom, okay? And so this is the emperor is the most powerful of all kings, you know, knights, pages in the tarot deck. And so I feel like this sets you out, this sets you aside from the rest. The first card that came out for you all was the Empress energy, which was the pregnant woman. And so this shows me that with the Emperor and the Empress, you are balanced. You have a personality that is balanced between both. And it might have taken you a while to get here, okay, with the Five of Cups coming out. You had to go through a lot of past pain in order to get here, but it strengthened you, and you became as bold and as courageous and as strong and powerful as the lion. And so you are definitely sitting in your power, very strong and courageous, and you are definitely a leader, okay? You are not a follower. You have never been a follower, okay? But even now that you know who you are, now that you are coming into an understanding of who you are definitely not going to be the type of person that just follows the crowd. You stand out alone, okay? Because you recognize who you are. So I'm definitely picking up on some very powerful energy here. If you question whether or not you're chosen, you're definitely chosen, okay? At least for the majority of you, because you might have some trolls that come up in here that just don't belong. Now, I'm getting a lot of masculine energy from this deck in terms of your personality. So that could just indicate strength. It could just indicate that warrior spirit, okay? And I feel like in terms of your personality, because of the times that we're in right now, the powers that were are losing their position of power. And so that warrior spirit is naturally what we embody at this time, in this season, okay? And so I feel like with the King of Pentacles coming out, it's showing me that you are someone who's very loyal. Okay, with the dog sitting next to this person, you're a very loyal person. I feel like you are a giver. You are the type of person that's a giver. I feel like you're very grounded, and you're the type of person where security is very important to you. I do see that here. Security is very important to you, but you know how to create that security. You are a builder. And with this man sitting here, I'm noticing the gray hair. So it indicates that you're very wise, whether you have gray hair or not. You are a very wise person. And like I said, picking up from the energy of your childhood, you've always been an old soul, just very wise and had a strong understanding of people and energy and life in general. And so this wisdom has only expanded. I feel like you're also the type of person that likes to sit back in the cut. You're not the type of person that needs to be like front and center, okay? You're the type of person, I always used to say that about myself. You catch me sitting back in the cut, just observing people. You might be a people watcher, where you just observe people's movements and how they speak and how they interact, and you're able to gather a lot just based off of your own observation. So I feel like that's a large part of what your personality is. But even here, where this person is sitting, all behind this person is a library, okay? And so I feel like if you don't possess a lot of books, if you're not necessarily the type of person that likes to read, you are just a walking library. And so I feel like it just speaks more volumes to the amount of knowledge and intellect that you have and the wisdom that you possess. So yeah, that's what I'm picking up there. So let me just pull one more, and then I'm going to ask the next question here. Look at that, Temperance. So the first card that you had coming out, in terms of what I asked in regards to like your childhood, and the first card that came out was the pregnant woman that said patience. And so temperance deals with patience. I feel like you are a very emotionally balanced person. You're very patient, but this is also, this man here has wings, okay? So I do see that you are an earth angel. And the more that you awaken to the fact that you are a chosen seed, the more that you are able to see that you are uniquely created. And you might even feel, you might have always felt like you wasn't really from this world. Like you came from a different space. This is not really where you belong per se. I mean, it's where you should be, because if you wasn't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. So there's an assignment that needs to be carried out by you, but it's showing me that you're definitely an earth angel, okay? So that means that you are a chosen seed. You are definitely a chosen seed, very balanced, and also you're a healer. You're able to heal people, even if you're not necessarily doing it as like you might not have discovered your gifts as a healer, and so you might not be practicing as one, but I do feel that you've always just been able to bring an energy that was very healing to others. I feel like you're also the type of person where people could come to you and they can just tell you everything. They can offload everything, their deepest secrets, everything that they've been suppressing. They could take the whole armor off and strip bare and be vulnerable in front of you, because there's something about your energy that just is very trustworthy and very open. And it's very healing, okay, and balancing to others. And so you've always been the type of person that's just like, just a listening ear. And just your presence of just sitting there and hearing a person and hearing whatever it is they have to say, they walk away from that conversation feeling better, even if you didn't say much, okay? You're a great listener. I definitely see that you have an open crown chakra, and so you have a divine connection to the Most High. You know that you're chosen because you have a love for the Most High that cannot be moved. You understand life from such a vast, and expanded level that it's like no one can tell you that the Most High is not real. No one can tell you that you wasn't placed here to do something greater. You've been through a lot, okay? You've been through a lot, but you still remain balanced in spite of everything that you went through in your childhood, in spite of being treated differently because you were different, in spite of even being the black sheep, okay? Many of you were the black sheep. If you was the black sheep amongst your family and you was treated differently and you was often misunderstood, you're definitely a chosen seed. I'm picking that up strongly here. You have the Ten of Pentacles. So many of you may value family, okay? You may be the type of person that values family, even if, most chosen seed came into a karmic family. And that's largely because your mission is to grow through and to persevere through the challenges. It's like a coal that's placed under pressure, up underneath all of that heat and pressure to become a diamond on the other side, and so you had a lot of karmic people that were surrounding you within your family. But even still, in spite of all of that, you still have a love for these people, even from a distance. I feel like you was always the type of person, what I'm noticing here in this picture is this little girl who's right here, whether you're male or female, this little girl who's right here in the center, always trying to bring peace in situations. So if you had parents that were at odds with each other, you was the one that always wanted to try to find a way to bring them back together and to bring peace, okay? And also notice here again, this little girl, she stands here alone, but her siblings are over here. So it shows me that you was also the type of person, this is like getting back into your personality traits, but concerning your childhood, you've always been the type of person that was drawn to older people. Largely because, like I said, you could not have like a straightforward conversation. It was hard to communicate with children your age because you was just so far advanced, because you're an old soul. You've been here many, many times before. And so all of that wisdom you brought with you. Now, it might have been suppressed through a lot of the childhood traumas that you ended up enduring, because trust and believe you went through many if you're a chosen seed. but you still have always been drawn to people that were older, from a child all the way up into adulthood. You might have even found that some of your relationships, as you begin to start to date, you may have been drawn to people that was older, or people who carried themselves in a much more mature manner. Or if you was in relationships, they noticed that you was just far more mature. You know, I had people that used to call me a grandma. Okay, I ain't look nothing like no grandma, but they called me a grandma because I always act like I was much older, you know, and that was just me. It wasn't an act, it was just me being who I am, you know. And so you probably just had a hard time connecting with the children that was around you. And again, you may have been the black sheep, so you might not have been able to really create a bond with your siblings like that. And so they might have treated you differently, but in spite of all of that, you still was always the one that was just happy. You know, just happy, just friendly, just kind, the peacemaker. So that's what I'm seeing here. And so let me see, the last card that I have here, let me just pull one more in terms of your personality, and then I'm going to move on. Okay, so I have two cards here. So I have Justice. Okay, Justice coming out shows me that you're the type of person that always fought for justice. I don't care what's going on, and that's always been my personality type. In spite of being so introverted, let me catch you doing something that was unjustified, and I was the first one to be on the front line to speak up about it, okay? And so I feel like that was your personality. Like, no, this needs to be balanced. Maybe you was the type of person where, you know, if you saw somebody in school that was like the so-called underdog, you know, the one that was being teased or brushed aside because they was different, you might have been the type of person to go sit down with them at the lunch table, you know. And I feel like because you was so different, you probably sat at the lunch table by yourself quite often, or you had very few people that surrounded you. I know I did, okay? And so you was the type of person that always wanted justice. You always wanted things to be balanced here, okay? And I'm also seeing here with the Three of Cups, again, you always had a very small circle of people around you, okay? You might have, your personality is that you probably only have one or two people that you find to be very close, like it, that you can call real friends, if you have any right now during this ascension process, okay? Because in this season, when the wheat is being separated from the tare, many of the chosen seed right now have practically zero friends, okay? But it's okay, because this is the time of creating that connection to the Most High in your spiritual team. And when you create that type of connection, there's, you know, in my opinion, there's no friendship that you can have in the flesh that's more powerful or more comforting than knowing that you have a spiritual team that surrounds you, that's always there 24 hours, 7 days a week, to be at your side, at your beck and call with whatever it is you need, you know, big or small. But I feel like that's what it is. You've always, you know, your personality is to have very few people in your circle, and that you're just more so a loner, but you're comfortable in that energy. So let's move on. Let's see, how do most people view you, okay? How do most people view you? This message might get kind of long, y'all, so I just, you know, hopefully you all stick it out with me, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel if you find that this resonates with you, so that this message can get out to more people, because that's what we need. We have to spread the message throughout so that we can start waking up. We need to wake up more people, okay? So the more that you all support my channel through your likes and subscribes and comments, the more that the message gets out to others. So let's see, how are you viewed by others as a chosen seed? How are you viewed by others? So you have the Seven of Pentacles here. So this could definitely indicate that people see you as a hard worker. They see you as the type of person that's very dedicated, and you've planted many good seeds. People see you as the type of person that has planted many good seeds that are reaping a harvest here. Very patient with the seeds that you have planted. I feel that people also see you as being just a nurturer. They see you as having a ability to plant seeds and to make them grow, like to bring things into fruition. They see you as being the type of person that can manifest those things that you desire to bring, or to manifest. So, you already had the Emperor coming out, the King of Pentacles. Like, you are a boss just naturally, the King of Wands. And so people see you as being the type of person that's not only a go-getter, but the type of person that whatever you go after and that you actually really put your energy and your passion into pursuing, you know how to bring those things into fruition and to get a good harvest out of it. And so people see you as being very dedicated and the type of person that perseveres, but you just have a good an ability just to, like I said, to plant seeds and to make them grow. So let's see what else. How are you viewed by others? As a chosen seed, how are you viewed by others? Now, obviously, there's a polarity to everything, okay? And even though you have those people around you, because the chosen seed always got enemies. Trust and believe that. You could be the best person in the world, the kindest person in the world, but you will still have enemies. And that's just because of the jealousy. A lot of people have a hard time facing the fact that you were chosen and set aside. So yeah, they see you as being very honest, okay, with the Ace of Swords coming out. They see you as being very intelligent. They see you as being very evolved, like intellectually evolved, maybe even spiritually evolved, because like, you can see like a stairwell, okay? So it's like, it's almost like they see you as having infinite wisdom and intellect. Like they might even wonder, like, how does he know these things? How does she know these things? I also feel that they see that you have a divine connection. That's what I'm seeing from this card with this light. It's almost like, this person has all of this wisdom, but it's being channeled in. It's coming in from somewhere that's outside of this person. And so it's like they know that you have a divine connection to the Most High. They see that, okay? Yeah, they definitely people see you as being highly intelligent. They also see you as being a hard worker, someone who is very focused here, someone who, I feel like people see you as being the type of person where you're not too focused on the outside world. You're more so focused on your crafts and those things that you enjoy doing. When you put yourself into something, like you fully submerge yourself into whatever it is that you're doing. So people see you as being maybe even secluded, but secluded in doing things that are very fruitful. And so I'm also picking up that people see you as being very, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's like whatever it is you pursue, you're very, I don't want to say secretive, but they might even see you as being secretive. Like you're not very vocal about the things that you're working on, but they know that when you go silent, you're working on something, okay? And it's something that you're perfecting. They see you as being, some people might even see you as being a perfectionist in certain areas, but they see you as being also very spiritual, because this person here, they have the candle, they have the feathers, they have the plants, okay? They have all the elements here. So they definitely see you as being connected to nature. They see you as being connected spiritually. Yeah, people definitely acknowledge the fact that you're not the type of person to always include people in what it is that you're doing, okay? I can't think of the right word to describe it, but you are the type of person, because you have more of an introverted personality. I feel like because the King of Wands came out, so it shows me that you have a balance between both, being an extrovert and an introvert, but I feel like your preference is to just kind of do your own thing and to be, like I said, laid back in the cut, just observing rather than being front and center. You have the ability to do both, okay? But I feel like that's your preference as a chosen seed. But they definitely see you as being the type of person that keeps things to yourself, but very focused on those things that you love to do. So let me see what else. In terms of your personality, how people see you as a chosen seed. See, I told y'all, you got the Hermit coming out. They see you as being very secluded, very introverted. Like you don't really want to be bothered with too many people. You're a loner. They also see you as being the type of person that's a thinker. You might have been the type of person that was a dreamer. Like you might have been a type of person where you can get lost in your own thoughts, just thinking, just constantly thinking. I know that that's my personality. Like, I used to think so much that I could completely zone out everything that was happening around me, and I'd be so focused and submerged in my thoughts that it's like I'm in a world of my own. So people probably see you as being in a world of your own. Like, you just you're just quiet. You're just they might think that you're kind of distant. And I think that that's what offends a lot of people, and that's how the chosen end up creating a lot of enemies, because people can't really guess what you have going on. You know, people like to, it depends on their personality. They like to know what you have going on at all times. So maybe when you had a lot that was happening in your life before you bossed up, before you recognized who you are and stepped into your creativity and you know, became the emperor and the empress of your empire, you might have been the type of person that, maybe, expressed a lot of the things that you was going through, and that kept people comfortable, because at least they knew what was happening with you. Okay. But I feel like the more healing that you all have done, the temperance came out. So that shows me that y'all have been doing a lot of healing. The more healing you've done, the more distant you've become when it comes to those people that was used to being in your intimate circle, at least a good majority of the time. But I feel like, again, you've always been more introverted. And so I feel like even more so now in your ascension and your spiritual awakening and in your healing process, you've really withdrawn yourself. And so people see you as being very withdrawn. And just, again, in your own world, just always discovering something. So let me see what else comes out here. Okay, we have the Star card. The Star card. So this indicates that people see you as being a dreamer. They see you, though, as being the type of person that's, wishful thinking. You're always just hoping for something, praying for something, anticipating something. I feel like people see you as being someone who is just different. You're so different that they might even see you as being like out of this world. Like with the Temperance and the Star card, it's almost like, and the Hermit, it's like, who is this person and where did they come from? They might just see you as being they might even recognize that you're an earth angel, but they might not want to tell you that. Okay, not everybody's going to tell you that. Some people are going to keep that to themselves, and they might tell you that they might call you everything but that. Okay, on the opposite end of the scale. But they definitely recognize that you are different and that you have a divine connection, and those things that you pray for, you have this cord connection. You have this attachment where those things that you pray for, ultimately you're able to pull them down into the physical realm. Ultimately, you're able to manifest and to truly create. Okay, they know that the Most High, you have a direct connection to the Most High God, Mother and Father. They know this. Okay. They may even see you as being the type of person, you might be like a stargazer. Like when you go outside, they might recognize you and see that, you're the type of person that's going to be looking up. Whereas everybody else is just kind of maybe looking in their phones or worried about what somebody else think about them. You're the type of person that's going to be looking up, watching the skies, You're just different. You're different. So let me pull one more for that. How do people view you? And then, okay, see, they see you as being a type of person that has moved on. The ship has sailed, okay? You have moved on. You're very focused on moving into a positive direction. They see you as being the type of person where you're not going to be held down or anchored down to other, to these emotional waves that you used to go through and to the pain of the past. Like they see you, your personality, as you're the type of person where things might happen, but you're all about moving on. You're all about moving on and finding a way to balance your emotions in spite of what's happening around you, okay? But they see that you don't stay in pain for long. They definitely see that you're able to, you know, whatever is happening, whatever waves come your way, you find a way to balance it back out and to get your emotions back balanced. And that's why the Temperance card came out. I'll take this one. This is at the bottom of the deck. They definitely see you as being very very attractive, like I told y'all. Very attractive. Many people also recognize that you are a divine masculine, a divine feminine. Okay, they see that. And so this is why many of you ended up in karmic relationships, okay? Because that was to deter you and to distract you from moving towards your divine union. But they do see you as being a divine masculine or feminine, okay? So let me see. What's the next question? You have your spiritual journey. What does your spiritual journey look like? This will be a great way to see what it means for you to be a chosen seed, to identify whether or not you're a chosen seed. What does your spiritual journey look like at this time? Okay, so you see what I'm talking about? That's why I told y'all was in so much masculine energy that came out. You've been in warrior mode, okay? You've been fighting up against some energies that does not want to see you win. Your spiritual journey looks like, you know, you've had to put on that armor, okay? The full armor, and you've had to fight. Your spiritual journey has looked like you fighting, whether it's physically having to fight up against those people who have been in opposition to you, who have tried to create stumbling blocks for you, and also spiritually, because if you look at this card, this person has on physical armor, but also there's a fight that's happening in the spiritual realm. So your spiritual journey has looked like you know, having to go to battle, having to go to war with these lower level entities that, again, do not want to see you stepping into your divinity and becoming the best version of yourself. They did not want to see you rise up, okay? And so you've been putting it down, okay, going to battle, but you possess, like I said, you're the lion. So you possess the authority and the power and the strength to be able to overcome whatever comes your way. So your spiritual journey has been it's been, you know, pretty chaotic in that way, but you also have completion coming out. Your spiritual journey looks like there's some cycles that you've been able to complete. You've been able to piece yourself back together. You've been able to come into an understanding of who you are, okay? And your third eye, your first eye, is now opening. There's a completion that you have in terms of your spiritual vision that is now coming into focus here. And so all of that fighting and all of that opposition, you know, you might have had, you know, during the spiritual journey, because the fighting card came out first, that means that you've been taking some hits though. Okay, it doesn't mean that the enemy has completely missed the mark every single time, because that's what actually made you stronger. That's what actually made you push and want to push back and to overcome and to declare and decree and to establish your power as a chosen seed. And so I feel like in the physical, that might have looked like you taking many losses during the spiritual journey, whether it's the past couple of years. You know, for me, it's been like the past 4 years of my life that I can say, I mean, my life pretty much for the, you know, since childhood, I've been going through a lot of things. But what stood out the most in my adult life is like the past 4 years of my life where I had to really go to battle. Okay. But it's showing me that it has allowed you to piece together the true version of who you are, coming into the realization of who you are, and coming into a completion of that past cycle, okay? Closing out past cycles and coming into that spiritual awareness. So your third eye is definitely open, and you're able to see things from a higher perspective now. So what does your spiritual journey look like right now? A lot of war, but that war has allowed you to come into a true understanding of who you are. Yeah, you have We Are the World here. So your spiritual journey has looked like you joining hands with many of the other chosen seed around the four corners of the globe, coming into your purpose, shining your light, and, you know, closing out old chapters. I feel like your spiritual journey has led you to close out chapters with people, places, and things in your life, and you're now starting brand new in a lot of areas of your life. Even when it comes to your spiritual understanding, you may have had to fight up against people who, you know, fight up against conditioning. You might not have had to fight up against a person per se, but you may have had to fight against, within yourself, had a spiritual battle within yourself where it's like you had to overcome certain conditioning and belief systems that was placed on you, and you had to, you was at that crossroads battling. Is this the right way to go? Am I taking the right path? That's what it looks like it has been for you in your spiritual journey. Okay, so as a chosen seed, if you recognize this, and if this makes sense for you, if you resonate with this, then just know, yes, you are a chosen seed. But that cycle is now coming to a close where it's like, I know who I am. I know that I'm a part of something greater. I know that I am a part of Christ's consciousness. And so as one vessel of Christ consciousness, I now have to shine my light. I now have to join forces with, my sisters and my brothers and other chosen seeds of the Most High God, Mother and Father, to do something greater, to actually to shift the energy of the universe, because that's exactly what is happening here, bringing light across the four corners of the globe and shifting the energy of not just planet Earth, but the universe as a whole. Okay, so you recognize that your position is great and you accept it. Okay, you've come into a completion of that battle. Okay, I'm also seeing here you have rebirth. So you've gone through a death. In order to be reborn, you had to go through a death process. So I feel like you had to die to your ego. You had to die to old ways of thinking. You had to die to old desires, your carnal nature. You had to put to rest certain relationships, certain friendships, certain family members. I mean, it's so many different things that you had to put to rest in order to be reborn. You had to put to rest all of the fears that you used to hold on to. Okay, even as a young child, you had to go in and heal your child that was, your inner child that was wounded, and you had to find that freedom. You had to free that child again so that it can now be free and just, get back into that state of wholeness and balance and harmony, and awaken your imagination again. And now this child is playing music, which indicates happiness. Okay, and so I feel like you had to go and rescue your inner child, but as a result of doing that, you have now been reborn, and now you are the new version of yourself. Now you recognize that being the introvert wasn't so bad. Being the black sheep, you now see why you was the black sheep. You now recognize the importance of being set aside and preserved in comparison to those others who were surrounding you. Now you're okay with being different. Now you're, whereas you might have, question like, well, why can't I fit in? Why am I different? Why do I always feel like I'm the one that's, ostracized or, talked about or picked at for being different? But now it's like you recognize, you see the value in that, because it gave you the opportunity when you came to that space of ascending and going through your spiritual awakening, during your spiritual journey. It was that much more easy for you to go into the cocoon. You didn't resist going into the cocoon because it was natural for you to already be the hermit. It was natural for you to already be the type of person that liked to do your own thing. And so being in hermit mode, it was actually in the cocoon, it was actually very comforting for you. And you was able to nurture yourself and heal yourself and to really gain that divine connection to the Most High and your spiritual team. And so it grew you. It allowed you to put to rest the old version of who you was and to go through the full transformation. And so now you have gone through the rebirth. Okay, so how do you know you're a chosen seed? You know you are not the same today as you was yesterday. You are not the same today as you was yesterday. Look at this. How do you know you're a chosen seed? You are a master, baby. You are the master. You possess much wisdom. Your first eye, your third eye is 100%. It is illuminated. Okay, you know who you are. Okay, that's what that says down there, the master. And so your wisdom, your understanding of our existence and what you was placed here to do, and what the bigger picture looks like outside of what people see or what you see through your natural eyes. You no longer look at things through your natural eyes. You see things through your spiritual eyes, but you still know how to balance out both. And so all of that wisdom that you had since childhood, now you recognize why you was always an old soul, because you came into this world, you came into this this lifetime with much wisdom from your past lives. trust and believe. You've been here. You're very ancient, very, very ancient with this, this beard, that hair is very long on this person, okay? And so it indicates that your wisdom it stretches far back into ancient times, okay? And so some of you might even be master number 11s, 22s, or 33s in terms of your life path number. But even if you're not, number 7 is also a very spiritual number. But even if you're none of those numbers, the fact is you are a master. Why? Because you're a chosen seed. And as a child of the Most High God, naturally you possess the infinite wisdom, knowledge, and understanding once you ask for it, and once you recognize that you are worthy of receiving it. That's one of the first things that I asked for when I started my journey. Rather than using my ability to create to say, okay, well, I want to become rich, I want to get a big house and a fancy car, and I'm sitting over here just only focused on manifesting and praying for material things. The first thing that I asked when I started to awaken and work with the elements and work with my spiritual team was, bless me with infinite wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And the Most High did, okay? Because the Most High found me worthy to use it with integrity and honor, okay? Not everybody can be blessed with that type of wisdom that you have. And so because they'll pervert it, they'll misuse it, and they'll abuse people with it. And it'll be something that they will now see it as being another thing to add to their ego, okay? To inflate their ego. But as a chosen seed, you see it as being that you possess just a library of wisdom that you can actually feed and nourish other people with. And that's why you was granted that. That's why you was granted that key to the universe of understanding. And so, yes, you have become the master in this area concerning your spiritual journey. So I'm going to pull one more card and I'm going to close out, y'all. I got 3 cards that came out. So let's see. So what you have here first coming out is traveling, okay? And so you may even be, but we're talking about your spiritual journey. So this is you ascending, because you can see this person is a little tiny figure there that's walking up this mountain. So you recognize that in your spiritual journey, there's no such thing as I know everything. You know that you are always the student and the teacher and then the student again. And so you know that this is an ascension process. And so you are traveling through your spiritual journey at this point, and you are growing and you are learning, and you are, I feel like you're thriving in your spiritual wisdom here. You have letting go. So I feel like, yes, you are letting go of your past, past perception, conditioning, belief systems. And in this card, because, okay, this is how you know you're a spiritual, a chosen seed. This drop that's falling off of this leaf is no longer a drop. You're letting go and you're allowing yourself to take the leap of faith into something greater than yourself, which is this body of water. And so you recognize that you are one drop amongst something that's far greater than yourself. And you are now, but yet still, even though you was that one drop, now you are also the body, okay? You are also the body of water now, because the body of water can't be what it is without each individual drop. So you see it from a microcosmic level to a macrocosmic level, okay? You see it from the base level to the highest level. I mean, you are evolving a lot when it comes to your spiritual understanding. And then also, you're trusting the process. You're surrendering, okay? You're stretching your hands out. You're no longer trying to control the narrative of your life. That's how you know you are a chosen seed, okay? You are no longer trying to control the narrative. You are operating from a space of faith, and you are trusting that in spite of your circumstances, everything is going to turn out exactly the way that it's supposed to turn out. Even if it doesn't look so pretty on the outside, you see it from a higher perception. You see it from the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm looks mighty good to you because you know the seeds that you planted. You know the type of person that you've been all your life. You know that you are a child of the Most High God, and as a child of the Most High God, you're always protected and you're always well taken care of. And so, just like biblical text says that the birds don't, worry about where they're going to find their next meal, the flowers don't spin or toil. Well, you have to know, you trust, and you know that because you are a child of the Most High God, you are well taken care of, just like all of the Most High's creation. And so I'm seeing here, this is my message for those of you who have been questioning whether or not you are a chosen seed. One thing that I do want to discuss, because this card keeps falling out even though I'm trying to close out, is schizophrenia. It doesn't mean that you're schizophrenic. It's schizophrenic, but one way that you know that you're a chosen seed is that everybody around you is telling you that you damn crazy. Okay? Embrace it. Embrace it and accept it, because it just means that you're no longer a zombie. It just means that you're no longer attached and connected to the matrix that most of the people blindly stay attached to. Some people don't stay. Some people are very well aware that they're actually connected to the matrix, but they stay in it because it keeps them in their comfort zone and it keeps them from being judged by others. But you've always been different, and you never really cared about how, what people thought about you, because hey, all your life you've been a black sheep. So at this point in your life, now that you're seeing things from a higher perspective, okay, call me crazy. Of course you're going to call the person crazy, but see, the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Fact of the matter is, most of the people around you that call you crazy have been doing the same thing over and over again and have not gotten any results any different than what they have been getting all of their lives. And so who's the crazy one? It's those people who choose to stay blinded to the reality and who choose to be spoon-fed the reality from their enemy. But you are different. So accept it. When they say you crazy, say, yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy enough to operate from crazy faith that says I'm about to receive my harvest. I'm about to receive my birthright. I'm about to gain my sovereignty. I'm breaking generational curses. I'm stepping into my purpose. I am a chosen seed. And so you want to call me crazy? I will be that. But one thing that you can't deny is that I'm a child of the Most High God, Mother and Father. So that's what I got for you all. Is just expect that powerful changes is coming for you as the chosen seed. And as a collective body, we win. We have fought the battle and we've overcome. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all next time.